Welcome to Wind Down and Focus. We are Annette and Christina, photographers with over 15 years of experience in portraits, branding, and senior sessions. We're here to share everything we've learned along the way.
We focus on creating genuine, memorable moments through the lens and can't wait to bring you tips, stories, and behind the scenes from our photography journeys.
Each episode, we'll chat about photography tips, stories, and fun, all while sipping wine.
So grab a glass, sit back, and join us for some casual conversation, laughs, and photography goodness. Let's wind down and focus. Welcome to episode 22, SEO, AI, and the Future of Photography Marketing with our guest, Jaimy Ellis.
Jaimy is a photographer from Iowa, educator, helping photographers understand SEO and marketing.
Yes, so we are going to meet Jaimy in just a few, but first, let's talk about our wine.
Talk about our wine.
Talk about our wine.
Which is super yummy tonight.
It is yummy. So for this episode, we are drinking a 2023 Kirkland Signature series from Napa Valley, and it's a Cabernet Sauvignon. So yes, Kirkland. Everybody knows who Kirkland is. Mm-hmm. It was bought from Costco. Uh-huh. It was only $19, and it is pretty delicious.
It is really good.
Yeah. It gets a 3.9 star on Vivino out of 139 ratings. So that kind of gives you an idea. The Kirkland Signature series, it's actually their Oakville Cabernet Sauvignon from Napa Valley. It's a great example of how Costco's private label wines often deliver premium wine at a very accessible price. Oakville is one of Napa Valley's most prestigious subregions and is the home to some of the most famous Cabernet producers in the world. The vineyards sit on well-drained gravel and sandy soils that help produce intense concentrated grapes with great balance and structure. So this particular wine is sourced from select vineyards in the heart of Oakville, and it's crafted by experienced Napa winemakers. And then Costco buys it and slaps their little label on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what did you think of the wine when you tried it for the first time?
I did find it smooth. Usually when it says oaky, I can taste the tannins, but to me it was smoother than what I thought it would be.
Yeah. I always go for cabs that say that oak is one of the stronger characteristics. That's one of my favorite things. And yeah, I liked it. I did get the oak. I feel like it's more oaky Cabernets that I drink. It's on the lighter end of it. Mm-hmm. But
that's probably why I liked it.
Right. Yeah. But it still was pretty darn good, especially for the price. You can't beat the price.
Yeah. And it said what? The flavors?
Oak vanilla chocolate is the most mentions of what people tasted. Then blackberry plum and blackberries.
Yeah. I got the vanilla
and then a little bit of cherry and red fruit.
I feel like I kind of got a little fruit, not much. Mm-hmm. I got more of the vanilla and chocolate, I feel like. Definitely oak.
Yep. So I tried to be fancy and make us some steak, which I don't make steak. My husband makes steak.
You did good.
I did okay. I think it was a little tough, but thank you. I appreciate you being very polite and liking it.
Oh, it was good.
Okay, good. So,
and it was very presentable.
Yeah. So I made us some steak crostinis with a honey goat cheese. And yes, all D's is where I got it from. These. And I just got like a flank steak. I cooked that up. I baked some crostini, and then I got some honey goat cheese too. So it was crostini, goat cheese, and then steak on top. The pairing works well. Well, steak just goes really well with Cabernet to begin with. The richness of the steak softens the Cabernet's tannins. The honey highlights the fruit notes, and the creamy goat cheese balances everything out. So that's what online was telling me it should do. You and I both thought we got a little bit more tannin-y after we ate it.
Right. Well, so we ate it and then we took a sip, and that's what we found. And then the second time I ate one, I took a sip while I was eating it.
We had the food in our mouth.
And it was less.
I liked it better that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
But I usually don't drink my wine while I'm mid chewing my steak.
Right. I don't either. So I don't know which it wanted us to do.
But it did tasted good with it, but I didn't get what it was kind of suggesting we get.
Yeah. Right.
And then I also got us some chocolate that had a little bit of like pretzel in it for like a salty sweet, because they always say that goes well. I didn't notice too much of a difference, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't, because I kind of choked. I swallowed. I have had a problem with swallowing stuff lately the wrong way. So I was choking and didn't get to taste that one, but I'm sure it's the same as what she did.
Yeah, we like this one. And if you have a Costco membership, this is one that they currently have in stock. I highly suggest. It's a nice, good, easy drinking cab.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
So now I guess onto our show. Let's go interview Jamie.
Yes.
Welcome, Jamie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
We love having you.
Yes.
So we love having you. Tell us, how did you go from photographer to SEO educator?
Well, I have had a photo studio or photo business, photography business for over 20 years of some kind. So I've been in the industry for a very long time. And when I first started out in the industry, there wasn't social media. There wasn't any of this. It was,
Right.
I mean, we were barely into digital at that point. My first business, we did start with a digital camera, but it was like kind of just where it started to look good, like
Right.
just because of that, I think it just kind of happened naturally. I've always been very resourceful and I don't want to pay for things. And so I just keep teaching myself all the things and how to have the best organic reach. And I started teaching social media back when Facebook like literally announced that they were open to the public. So I might be dating myself here. I've been around for a long time. I just kind of naturally have grown with the times, and I really love branding and marketing. And I think with that, all the new things that keep coming out and changing, I just have constantly been learning and educating myself on the best ways to do things. And so that's kind of how I became, I guess, an educator in general. But my SEO journey has been a little bit more interesting. I've always been interested in SEO and online presence and how I perform on Google, all those things. But in 2025, this last year was actually not a good year for me. Yeah, I didn't have as many bookings as normal. So I focus mainly on high school seniors, if you don't already know a little bit about me. And as you know, with high school seniors, like the majority of your customers are brand new customers. There's not a whole lot of repeat business that you can count on.
Right.
So, sometimes occasionally there is, but I was finding myself in a situation where I was having like half the amount of seniors in the season as I normally do. And on top of that, so I think we can go all day. I could talk to you all day about the reasons why. But I think it was like a ill-timed pricing structure change on my end. I didn't really like raise prices or anything. I just restructured it. And so the sticker shock got really high or really scary to people. And then that was like timed right with some, political unrest and economy issues.
Yes.
And so I think, not to like make excuses, but the timing just wasn't right for the changes I made. And then all of a sudden I'm sitting in August and I'm looking at my September calendar that's normally packed out and I have nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, FML.
Yes.
Like, what am I going to do? And I started really freaking out. And then I really put a lot of thought into my structuring, And then when I really came to my decision on what I was going to do with that, then I was like, okay, I know that I'm not priced too high, quote unquote. And because I've been doing this for so long and I know, that people are used to this price from me. So I know it's not that. And maybe I just need to reach a broader geographical area. Right. And so then I was like, crap, how do I do that? And so anyway, long story short, I just really dove into what is going on in the SEO world and how AI is changing it and all of that good stuff. And I like dove deep. And
it's very interesting once you start going.
Yeah. And it makes a lot of sense. And then kind of combining those things into what we do, which is very visual, was also a tricky part. So yeah, I'm sure some of our more questions down the road will answer a lot of that. But that's kind of like the long story of how I got there. But yeah, it really was just a year of struggle and knowing that like this year cannot be like that.
I actually love to hear you, not love to hear you say that, but We
Mhm.
have
Oh,
noticed that. Well, we have noticed that too.
Yeah.
And we have a little group of photographers here in St. Louis that we get together, and all of us are saying across the board, it's been very slow this year. Nobody's
yeah,
getting bookings. Anybody that has
yeah,
teams are not getting people on their
Back in
teams.
2025.
yep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
2025 was
yeah,
like all around.
yeah. And it makes me feel a little better too. Like same thing here. I have heard from a lot of photographers that this year was not the best for them. But I had some of my other close friends were like, it was great for me, but I did have a slow year last year. Or like, and I've been in business for a long time, like I said, and I have seen the waves, right?
Right.
Like I
Right.
started my very first business straight out of college in 2006, right before the crash in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And we were fine and we made it through that, and I just knew I could make it through. And so I just was like, I know that it's going to be temporary and don't freak out too
Stay
much,
positive.
Yeah.
but I'm not doing anything. So
Yeah. So let's learn.
why not? Yes, like why not get my website running smoothly, make sure all my systems are in check so that when I do figure out how I want my website to be and I get that website in front of people, that it works very smoothly. They move through it in a way that I want, seeing the information that I want them to see when I want them to see it.
See it.
Mhm.
And then being able to partner that with my CRM to make a very seamless workflow that's easy for the customer. And
Yes.
I think
that.
just that on top of everything else helps for a good customer experience that
Right.
feels modern and up to date anyway. So yeah, that's really been what I have been doing heavily for the last couple months, and it is showing to be making a difference. So
Yeah, I love that.
I love
Yeah.
that.
I just had to tell you I love that because,
Yes.
yeah, it's been talked about quite a bit.
yeah, yep.
So was there a moment when you realized that photographers were missing something online?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, not one specific moment, but like I said, I've
Not
been
one light bulb
teaching.
moment.
Well, I have been teaching photographers for a long time. I have been talking at state conventions and different, even national conventions for pretty much the entirety of my career. And the
Mhm.
one thing, even way back in 2008, when I started talking about Facebook and how photographers need to be on Facebook, which is so weird to say because, like, yeah. Anyway, the one thing was like, people need to know where you're at. I tell photographers since the beginning is like, they need to, without a doubt, have no problem figuring out where you're at. It is my
Right.
biggest pet peeve when I jump on somebody's website, or like maybe I hear about a new photographer in my area or something like that, and I want to find out where they're from. I go to their website and I have to dig through pages.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That
Yes, I
annoys me
have been
too.
Mhm.
literally like Googling area codes because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't
I've done
have
that.
any.
Like
Yeah,
their phone number just says the only thing I know that is where they are is their area code that they have listed underneath
yes,
their contact
yeah.
me. If
So
they even have
that
their phone number.
if the one thing that you put on your website, if you have one thing on your website, please let it be
Where
such
you're
and
at.
such photographer in your state,
Yep.
your town, your state. Like, just please put it on there.
Yep.
So that's the
Yep.
one thing. Like, I am so shocked whenever I see, even nowadays, that people are missing that. So that's the one thing that I'm
And
like,
I think that comes
always.
with just newer photographers to the game, not realizing what's important and what the clients want to see first and know.
It's also really hard to see the forest for the trees or whatever that saying is. Like when you're in it and you know the jargon
Mhm.
and you know the lingo, then it's really hard to see from the outside perspective of like what it actually looks like when a potential customer hits your website or because you
Right.
already know, yeah, I'm in Iowa City, like you just know that. It is really hard to sometimes see from that outside perspective. But yeah, AI can help us with
Right.
that
What can
now.
help with
So
that?
Ooh, I'm
yeah.
excited. So we're going to talk about the shift in search. Search used to mean Google results pages. Now AI tools like Chat GPT, Gemini, and voice assistants answer questions directly. Photographers need to think about both SEO and AEO. So, Jamie, what exactly is AEO and how is it different from SEO?
Yeah, so AEO is really if you think about the bot, like that's kind of my
Mhm.
term, like if the bot is searching what is it finding as opposed to if a human is searching on a
Searching.
search engine. So the A in AEO just stands for AI, artificial intelligence. And so it really is just making sure that not only can a human find information on your website easily, but a robot can.
Can find it.
So it kind of has a little bit more to do with how things are laid out on the page and your headlines and different things like that.
Where you're
To
located?
where those things are at and how it's like structured.
Okay.
That makes a difference for the robots to be able to find the information. So that's the biggest difference. But luckily they can overlap, and I have some little tips about that too. So
Ooh, perfect.
yeah, we can get there.
Okay. Are photographers already being found in AI searches without realizing it?
Yes. So it's actually really interesting if you go to your browser
Mm-hmm.
and you open an incognito tab. Have you ever done that?
Yep. Daily.
Yeah. So, and just like type in to Gemini or open chat GPT or whatever without logging in and just ask it questions and see what it says about you. It's really interesting. But, I think that a lot of people are starting to use it without even knowing that they're using it. Like when you go to Chrome or you go to Google, Gemini is answering that question for you
Mm-hmm.
from a like AI standpoint. It's no longer like
I've
you no
noticed
longer
that.
have to search. Yeah. So you want all of those search, Gemini, ChatGPT, all of those, you want them to be saying when somebody asks, who's the best photographer in Iowa City for senior portraits? I want it to say me. So there's a lot of things that go into that, but having that strong SEO and AEO on your website is what helps you get mentioned in that.
And
Yeah, but it is kind of like it is a little sneaky sometimes. So, yeah.
Okay. So what kind of content tends to get pulled into AI answers?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So AI and the robots, they want to know, and Google in general. So like this is kind of general SEO, but specifically for AI, they want to know that you're a credible source, you're
Mm-hmm.
an authority in your field, that you have a real human opinion. So a lot of times, like if you post something, you make a blog post and it's a little bit controversial, or you have a strong opinion about something, that's going to have a little bit heavier weight. Um, but anything that can be easily cited. So, for example, let's say somebody gets onto Google or Gemini and they're asking, like, how much should I actually be spending on senior photos? Oh, guess what? Your friend Jamie Ellis over here has put together this really awesome framework and breaks down the different price brackets of senior photos in Iowa City, which is where you're located at, and has gone through like what you should expect from each price bracket.
Oh,
Like that's just an example, but that is like the one of the very first things that I did when I started this journey was that blog post.
Very cool.
That like pricing breakdown in
Right.
my area. And it's a little bit salesy towards me, a little, but it
right.
does talk about all the different price brackets, what photographers are using to get to that price that they do, like, what all goes into this pricing and why somebody might be $200 shoot and burn and why somebody might not be that.
Right.
And then by the time
and,
they're
and
reading this, they're like, well, she already knows it.
yes.
And she's in my area. I'm just going to book her.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And she's not just saying like, "Oh, this is me and my price and this is why I do this." I'm not there to justify my price, right?
Right.
I'm there to give them helpful information to help them make a decision, and AI is seeing that.
Okay.
So like all throughout that I'm kind of sprinkling in all my keywords that are location based so that it's knowing in Iowa City or in Iowa this is common for senior photos and it can cite that source really easily. So any answerable question like that, like maybe you put together a really killer outfit guide, like what to wear guide, and you're talking about like I'm actually just working on this. If you're local to Iowa City, please don't steal my idea. I am working on
Nobody from Iowa
blog
is allowed to watch this.
blog post. My next blog post is actually outfit trends for 2026. So do I have outfit guides on my blog? Yes, occasionally. But my next one is going to be like what the coming trends are, and then within that, I'm going to be putting like, do I like this trend or not? Like as a photographer, like is this something that I like or not? And all those things paired together make that a citable source for AI when people are looking for like, what do I wear for senior photos? So
Gotcha.
yeah,
Oh,
it should
good
be
idea.
it should be
I
cool.
love
So
it.
I'm working on that now. So
Well, that was like your next question. She kind of just answered it.
Yeah.
Give
oh
us a real world example. No, you did great.
oh yeah
Good.
yep.
So the biggest website mistake photographers make, beautiful websites often confuse the search engines. Many
Yes.
photography sites focus on design but ignore clarity. Search engines need to instantly understand what you do, where you do it, and who you serve.
Yes.
And then the example that we have is Iowa City senior photographer versus a vague phrase like capturing timeless memories. Because,
Yeah.
everybody loves those vague
Yep.
phrases, right?
Yes, I know. Live, laugh, love.
So, Jamie, what should every photographer's homepage clearly state?
Yeah, I mean, I already mentioned this, but
Yep.
like
Say
the
it again.
one thing, yes, the one thing that you need to have, like first and foremost, H1. So
H1.
title on the page is
What you do
like,
and where you're from.
yes, exactly. And you can make, you don't have to say like Iowa City photographer. You could say like high school senior photographer specializing in vibrant and bold senior portraits in Iowa City. Like you
Right.
can
Right.
add a little bit of zhuzh there.
Yeah.
But that should be, it
Your
should
title.
smack them in the face.
Right.
Yep.
Like, yeah, that's going
They
to
know
be
where
the
you're
number
at
one.
and what you do. Yep.
Yeah, because what's the thing that people look for when they're looking for a photographer? They're going to type in either their city,
Yep. Photographers near me.
photographer,
Mhm.
yep, or near me. And it's really funny if you, oh shoot, I can't remember what the website is called, but it's a Google service where you can actually search terms and key phrases that people use. And
Mhm.
the majority of people actually use the word pictures, which for photographers is like a dagger
hate
to
that.
the heart. I know, right? Like when I saw that, I was like, pictures. That's
Don't want to use
like,
that word.
I would rather say pics or like,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
So then
Yeah.
are you saying that we should somehow in our like SEO be saying that word?
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah. So I know, but photos is popular too. Photographer, like
Mhm.
people do search that photographer or photography. But when you're writing copy or when you're writing blog posts, rather than saying I'm gonna reference seniors a lot because that's really my main bread and butter, but family, whatever the genre might be, and use the word pictures behind it instead of, like senior picture session or, like sneak it in there
Sneak it in
because
there.
people are not,
Search.
they're not photographers. They don't
Right.
know that it's uncool to say pictures, right?
Right.
So they're just going to do that. And
good.
so it's important to get those in there somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That makes sense.
What are some other good examples of where location keywords can appear on your website?
All over the dang place. Yeah,
Everywhere.
yep. It's really interesting when you really start to think about like, how could I word things a little bit differently to include my location? I don't put it in multiple places on every blog post, but every single blog post has a reference to where I'm at somehow or some way, at least once. And same with social media captions. And anything I do on the internet, I am optimizing for SEO and AEO on everything because people are going to TikTok and using that as a search engine. People are going to Instagram and start using that as a search engine now. And Google can index your Instagram posts now. So anything that you can do to just put that SEO all over the place, your keywords all over the place on any platform is super important.
Yeah.
Now, would you say if I'm doing an Instagram post, just like the pretty worded caption. We're thinking
Yep.
about putting that location in there, but then also are we doing the hashtag location too?
You can. I still do use hashtags, but honestly, I have kind of been testing out not using them at all, and I've not seen a big difference. But if you're just gonna make a post and it's like, let's say, a reel of pretty pictures from your session, and then you're gonna say like, "Isn't Susie so cute? Her session was so fun," and then you leave the hashtags out, you're SOL, right? Yeah. So, like, if you're not going to use some sort of location hashtag, then you need to be putting it in the caption, like literally in the caption. On screen text is amazing as well. Voiceover captions, like if you do a voiceover and then you have closed captions, those are all searchable if you do it native within each platform's app. So,
means, do it native with that's up.
Yes. Yep. That means that you might have to recreate some content here or there, but it's worth it to have those things be searchable. Hashtags are going away if to pull it all together.
I feel like it seems this year somebody mentioned that too.
Yeah, they don't really matter anymore because people aren't really like, you used to be able to use hashtags to kind of like organize your posts and like maybe if they I don't know. It's like obscure hashtags. You're like, that's the dumbest thing
you
I ever.
live in St. Louis. Do I do SAINT Louis? Do I do ST Louis? Do I do ST period Louis? But you can't really do a period and a hashtag. Like that's always bothered me.
Yeah, that is right. I haven't really thought about that. But to answer that question really easily now, you're going to be like, what do people do? Like, what do the masses do? Because that's what you should do.
What pages on your website are the most important for ranking?
Well, your homepage, I mean, they're all important, but I think what the bots really want to see is that you have like really clear and not confusing for them content. So that means like each page only has one topic. So one topic per page. The title, which is your H1, is going to clearly state what that page is about. And then your H2s, which are going to be, your next header, are going to kind of be the skeleton outline of that page and the content that it contains. So, for example, if a bot is searching the web for, let's say somebody goes on to Gemini and says, I want to know who the best lifestyle photographer is in my area. But if your homepage, maybe you land on your homepage and there's like the first thing they see is like capturing timeless memories, whatever. And then the robot's like, well, that doesn't mean anything. Like, I don't know what that is. And then on there, maybe you have like, here's a gallery of my work. And then it just is all the genres mixed together. And there's not really a clear definition of like what you do, what types of photography that you offer, then that's going to be really confusing, not only for a robot, but for a human too. Like if somebody's looking for lifestyle photography and you do that and you're not saying lifestyle photographer really anywhere on your website, you are not going to even show up on page 10 probably. So you need to really
stick to the facts is what I'm hearing.
Be very clear and concise about what you do. Think of your website kind of like an outline. Like if your H1s are the most important info, then your H2s are the second most important info. And then everything is kind of populated within those. Then AI should be able to read your website really easily. So then, if you separate it out, so let's say, for example, for me, I do seniors and headshots primarily. So then I have a senior page. And in my senior page, I have all the information laid out in a way that I want my customer to move through it, but it also makes sense for a robot. And then same with my family. And I kind of keep it consistent on the different genres pages because that's easy. You duplicate the page and change out the information when you're building. Then it just makes you look a little bit more polished on the human side of it as well. And like you really have your ducks in a row. So I think it's important. Your pricing, they want to see that you have pricing. So having pricing somewhere on there, it wants to see about you. So like what you what your credentials are, what you serve, what you like to do, all that kind of stuff. It wants to see that. So those are, the normal basics. So
Yeah.
it's not too crazy different from what we normally would do, but just kind of a little bit making sure that it's laid out in a good way. Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about blogging. So, yes, why blogging still matters. Blogs answer real client questions. Blog posts target the exact things clients search for. Examples would be what to wear for senior photos or pictures,
Yeah.
best senior photo locations in Iowa, when to book senior pictures. Benefits would bring in new traffic, build authority, help photographers rank locally. So,
Yep.
how often should photographers blog realistically?
No, in the photography world, at least as far as every time I go somewhere to teach, I'm oftentimes surprised at like how much photographers don't want to share. Like
Yeah.
they don't want to blog, they don't want to do marketing, they don't want to get on social media. And it's like, well, what the crap are you doing this for then? Like what?
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't
my
know,
gosh, my
like
whole week is more doing that crap than it is actually
yeah,
shooting.
same. Yep. I really love marketing and I also have ADHD. So I get a little bit of a dopamine hit when I get on social media and see people interacting. So like for me, I enjoy it because of that. And I am finding out that I guess I'm kind of the odd man out in that situation in the photography world. So with that being said, how often should people blog? Realistically, the bots and the search engines, they want to see that you are active on your website, that you have current content on your website that's relevant. So that means like if you aren't posting anything, like if you're not making updates on your site and you got your site up and running and you're like done, set it, forget it, and you walk
Right.
away for a year,
Not good.
they're going to be like, they might not even be in business anymore. Like,
Mhm.
the bots might be like, well, this person isn't even updated their website in a year, which I think for some photographers, a year is like minimal amount of time to get on their
Uh-huh.
website and
Oh,
make adjustments, right?
yes.
Yeah. So if you are constantly updating your website, then it's saying, okay, this person is a viable business. They're a real person. They're adding new content. They're providing valuable information to their community. Then we're going to put this a little bit higher towards the top. Now, you might get your website built and you're like, well, now my website's built. Now what? Well, that's where blogging comes in.
Mhm.
So blogging is that way to show that you're actively making content on your site. And so I would say like in an ideal world, you would be posting a blog post every week.
Okay.
Right. Yep.
Do I practice that? No.
Do I
Like
teach it? Yes.
right, like I'm going to tell you that's what they say that is the best, but who has time for that? I mean, not
Yeah.
me. So I would say like my goal is to have, well, my goal is one every week, but that doesn't
Right.
happen.
Right.
But what does happen, even though that's my goal, is about twice a month. Like
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
do find that I'm able to kind of consistently get twice a month out there. But honestly, at least once a month, very minimal 6 weeks, like every six
Right.
weeks, I would say that that would be the ideal. But have I gone longer than that? Yes. Like I sometimes I get one out every 2 weeks and sometimes I'm, busy season. I might wait a month or, might not get
Mhm.
done. So I think just like showing that you can consistently come back to it
Right.
without a huge giant
Yeah.
break is
Like, oh,
what
they
matters
they
the
closed their
most.
doors. Oh, wait, they're back.
Yeah, yeah. And on top of that, like blogging, having a clear blog strategy has helped me on social media.
Mhm.
It gives me a little bit more of a, like I said, strategy instead of just like, what do I feel like posting today? Or I had a cool session, let's post that. Well, you can still post that cool session, but now you have this long form content that you spent some time creating.
Mhm.
Now it takes me less time to do it with the help of AI, but I
Right.
have been working on this blog post I mentioned earlier all day, even
Yeah.
though I had AI help me write it. So I do spend time in this content, but the blog post, it gives me something to put in my caption. So no longer am I saying, here's Betsy, her photos were cute. She's so fun. Like I have something I can point my viewer to. So I can
Right.
say, like, oh, Betsy's session was so awesome because we went to this really cool spot in Iowa City and her outfit matched perfectly. Speaking of outfits, I just put together a really cool blog post, blah, 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 blah. And then you can, give yourself a little bit more substance to write about in your captions. And you can usually what I do is once I post a blog post, all of my posts, or most of them, maybe not all, are pointing to that and
Mhm.
referencing that for the next until I put out another blog post.
Mhm.
Right.
So that's what's kind of fueling me to write a new blog post is when I'm like, okay, I have milked this subject to
As long as you
the
can.
fullest. Yeah. So I'm ready to talk about something different now. So then, yeah, it has helped me kind of get a clearer idea on what I should be posting and what I can post. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that has helped me also.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, what kind of blog posts perform the best, do you think?
Yeah, so I already mentioned that pricing structure blog
Right.
post. That one's
I
going
love
to be
that one.
huge. Yeah. I have used ChatGPT. I mean, ChatGPT is my buddy, but any of the AI to help me brainstorm ideas. And who better to ask about how to optimize for AI than AI itself?
Right.
So yeah, so I'm like, what if I am new to blogging? I want to my SEO. What are the blog posts that I need to be prioritizing,
Mhm.
and it helped me kind of create that list. But for me, if I was going to tell you to do like 3 blog posts ASAP, it would be your pricing breakdown, like I already talked about,
Mhm.
your framework. So, like a breakdown of exactly what it's like to work with you from booking to final order delivery. So, that whole process.
Mhm.
And then what makes you different. So, something about you that is different from other photographers or so for me that would be my sessions are very empowering and inclusive and like so one of my most recent blog posts was like how I make you feel comfortable in front of the camera and I
Mhm.
talk about like how I feel like that's kind of my superpower and blah 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 blah. But yeah, they need to be pretty robust. And that's where AI can help you with that too.
Mhm.
You can
Yeah.
give it a topic or you can say, here's what I want to say. Can you help me lay this out optimized to rank in AI searches or, like you have AI help you with those things because
Yeah.
you'll start to learn a lot.
One of the things I have had it tell me to do was to make sure in every blog post you tag your website. Or you not tag, but you include
Backlink.
backlink. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I've
Yeah.
been
Links.
doing that. I never did that till it told me to make sure to
Yep.
do that.
Blog are really important. Yeah. And also asking the AI to tell you what it needs.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, instead of saying, I want to write a blog post about the fashion trends for 2026, you would say something like, here's what I want to do. I want to write this blog post. I want you to act as an SEO and AEO and marketing expert. And I want you to provide me with a prompt that I can repeat with new blog topics and then it will give you this crazy long prompt that you can copy paste into, and then you can keep going with it. So you could say, like, I want you to give me this prompt, but I want it to be this and this and this, optimized for greatest organic reach,
Nice.
location. What else am I leaving out that I should be including in this prompt? Like you can dive deep in there.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
that's
then you just
basically
save that prompt for every time.
yes, yep. You save it in a Google Doc or whatever, and then you can just copy paste it with the new topic or
That's
whatever
a great idea.
every time. And
I
then,
never thought of having ChatGPT tell me what prompt it
yes,
wants.
yes,
That's good.
yep. And it will go deep. It will like really go in, like you'll get something back that you're like, wow, that is way more than I was expecting. But you can, tailor that to however you want. But yeah, you gotta, ask it, tell it who it is, first of
Mm-hmm.
all. Like I tell like, today you are my
Give them a
marketing
job.
expert. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then ask it to provide you with the tools that it needs in order to do its job to the fullest. But it will also give you a lot, like I said. So just keep that in mind when you're like writing things. It's
Be
like, okay,
prepared.
can you please tone this down? Like I'm often telling it like, that was a bit much. Can we dial it back a bit? So
Maybe
yeah.
only the top one. So can photographers repurpose blog posts for social media?
Yes. I mean, I just talked about that ad nauseum probably, but yes, I do utilize my blog posts to help me generate content and also give me ideas for content. You can continue with that prompting thing like we were just talking about, and then have it give you an additional prompt that you can copy paste after you have your blog written. That's like, okay, now I want you to write me or give me 5 social media ideas for Instagram, 3 LinkedIn captions, 8 Pinterest descriptions, blah blah blah. You know, you can have it do all the things, which is kind of what I do. I am very spontaneous, and when I'm on, especially with social media, I need to like want to post what I'm posting when I'm posting it. And I will see like trendy, trend ideas or songs as I'm doing my own little doom scrolling, which I call research and discovery. But I will save ideas, and I'm very spontaneous with it, but at least I know it's a starting point or like a fallback when I'm trying to think, okay, what's my caption or what's this going to be about? Oh, I could link it in this way to this blog post or whatever. So I kind of use it as my little, like, I know in my head for the next 2 weeks, I'm talking about this topic, but you can go as deep and as in depth as have it make all those or give you ideas for all those things, and you just follow that. And you can ask it if that's a strategy that performs well. Like you can have it advise you on the best practices for marketing and stuff like that. So, and it'll kind of automatically do that too. Like, oh, next we could make Pinterest posts, So it'll help you along the way. But yeah, you can really use that blog to generate a lot of short form content to fuel and stay relevant on those social platforms too.
Perfect.
Yeah, love
it's
it.
just, I love all this information you're giving us because it's like, okay, no, that makes sense. It makes sense. But then you need somebody to like knowledgeable like you to tell us. They're like, oh, well, yeah, that makes complete sense.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to hear it again. Like, how many times can I say, put your location on your website before you actually do it? No, I'm joking. No shade to all those people out there who don't have their location on their website yet, but I bet you will very
That's
soon.
right, after they listen. So the next subject we want to talk about is what AI looks for. So AI pulls information from clear, structured content. AI prefers content that is direct, and we kind of already touched this, but we're going to go a little bit more in detail. Direct, organized, helpful, and question-based. Content more likely to appear in AI answers like FAQ questions, educational blog posts, guides, and tips. So are photographers writing for people, or are they writing for search engines?
That's a really good question. I would say right now, I am writing a little bit more for the search engine than I am for a human, but I still want it to sound cool. And I still want it to sound like me. And I still want it to, like, if a human does land on it, because the humans that do land on that content, those are going to be the ones. Like, typically, if they're reading that content, they are intentionally reading that content. So you want it to sound good and look good, and you're going to use all your, cool photos throughout the blog posts and whatever. But yeah, I definitely am gearing a little bit more towards the bot than I am the human, only because people really are using AI to answer their questions. What should I wear for senior pictures? Who's the best photographer in Iowa City for senior pictures? All the different things that people are wondering in their head that now they have an outlet to just ask.
Okay, so how can photographers structure content so that AI understands it?
Yeah, it all comes down to those headlines. So anytime you see the word H1, H2, H3, that stands for headline. And your H1 is going to be your title. You should really only have one of those on a page. So the title should be the title. That's it. Don't be putting H1s throughout your whole page. H1 should be the title of that page. What is the main topic that's covered? And then from there, like I said, your H2s can kind of divide your content a little bit. It gives them kind of a like, okay, in this paragraph, she's talking about this. In this paragraph, she's talking about this. So that's how it kind of needs to be laid out. In your little opening of this section, you mentioned facts sections. Those are huge. I put a facts section. I try to put a fact section on every page of my website. So like my senior page at the bottom is an FAQ. Family page, bottom is FAQ. Pricing page, bottom is FAQ. Same with blogs. I add a little facts section at the bottom of every blog that has to pertain with the topic that I'm covering on that blog. Yeah. So anything like that. They also really love best of lists. So anytime you're making like best locations in your town or whatever it might be, best places to buy clothes for senior photos, things like that. It's a little bit more specific for a best of list, but like I said, AI can help you organize all that and lay it out in a way that's optimized for that. But yeah, I would say definitely learning about what a H1 is and how that should be laid out. Ask AI. Like just ask it.
It'll help you.
Yeah. When in doubt, ask AI.
Seriously, yeah. That's the biggest thing is like I have learned so much and it's taught me so much just because I go on and like I ask it. So that's just what I have been doing and yeah, that's my suggestion is like if you're really not sure about it, just go ask an AI. Even the free version is going to be able to answer that.
Yeah.
Who better to ask than the robot you're trying to impress?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when they used to say I'm YouTube certified on ChatGPT.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so is long form content better than short posts?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what platform you're on, but if we're talking about like website specific, then typically you want to have some kind of long form content somewhere on the internet. So maybe you make YouTube videos and that's your long form content that you reference back to or you link back to in a blog post or on your website somehow. That long form content is going to help you look credible and look like you have answers to everybody's questions, right? So when you're writing blogs, they need to be robust. Even social media platforms are preferring, like the algorithms on those are preferring a more robust caption. The posts with longer captions tend to be performing better. Why that is, I'm not sure, because I also feel like people don't read anything anymore. Yeah, it's like this weird thing. Like I keep writing all this stuff, and I'm like, the reason that I kind of yeah, exactly. That's kind of the reason why I'm focusing a little bit more on writing it for AI because I just feel like people don't really read anything. And then in the research that I do for the younger generation, so like Gen Z and Gen Alpha coming really soon, they are very scanny. Like they scan everything. They don't really dive into the copy of what you're writing unless the topic is answering a question that they have or they want the more information more. But for the most part, they are also like scanning your information to find the answers to what they want rather quickly. So, having a layout that's scannable is as beneficial for both AI and for humans, especially younger generations.
Right.
The scanners.
Yeah.
The scanners.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I think some of the adults are scanners too. So
definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So the simple SEO framework. So SEO does not have to be complicated. So your framework is use service plus location keywords. So example would be St. Louis senior photographer.
Yep.
One page equals one topic. So senior photography page, headshot photography page.
Yep.
Answer real client questions. So blog posts and FAQ content.
Yep.
Keep the website active. So constant new content signals relevance. So if a photographer is starting from scratch, what should they begin with? Or where
if you're
should they begin?
Legit brand new out the box photographer, the first thing that you have to do is get yourself a Google business profile and a Yelp profile. Believe it or not, like even though we're talking about SEO and AEO on our website, your profiles on those two platforms have a big weight in where you land in the search information. So the first thing that you need to do for sure is get your Google business profile set up with the accurate information. So let's say you have contacted your state, you registered your business as a solo entrepreneur or whatever that paperwork says your business name is, that is what your business name needs to be listed as on Google business profile, on your website, everywhere. All the contact information that you listed with the state also needs to be very consistent across all the platforms. So as you start to gain platforms, website, whatever it is, your phone number, your address, your location, everything needs to be very consistent across everything, because it's looking at all those things and is she in Iowa City, or like I have a home that's not in the town that my studio is in, so like that can sometimes be confusing.
Right.
So anyway, all of that stuff needs to be really consistent. So starting from scratch, get your Google business profile active. Chances are, if you're starting a new business, you've already something made you start this business. It's not like you have never photographed anybody before in your life, right? So anybody you've ever worked with, have them write you a Google review. And doesn't have to be 5-star. It could be any star. Get people to start writing Google reviews, because that is going to also help in telling the AI whether you're good or not, right? And then you need to be replying to those reviews always. Always reply to your reviews. So that's where I would start. And then after that, I would say get yourself a very simple website that is optimized for AEO kind of out the gate. I am not sponsored by PhotoBiz, but I have a PhotoBiz website, and yeah, I freaking love PhotoBiz.
Yes.
I do have a code for a referral code if you want that. I don't know if it gets you much of a discount, but they are amazing, and they just rolled out a very easy way to start from scratch, where you like literally all you have to do is fill out a very quick questionnaire and upload 25 images and a headshot and your logo, and AI puts everything together for you, and then you can just go in and like kind of tweak it here and there.
I needed it.
Yeah, right. But it is looking to be really cool. So I would say find yourself industry specific website host. I already mentioned PhotoBiz, but I love PhotoBiz for another reason, because it's kind of a one-stop shop. Photographers need online galleries. We need e-commerce sometimes. We need lead generation and lead capture. We need email marketing. We need all these things. I use it for
everything.
Same here. I do too. And before I had PhotoBiz, I was paying third-party companies to do all these little things. And then when I got my PhotoBiz site, I really wasn't paying any more than the other guy, which was Squarespace. And I could drop all these third-party things. So anywho, not to be a PhotoBiz commercial,
and
but
it's super easy to understand and do. I don't feel like it's complicated. They make it,
it's very visual.
They have a chat right there when you have a question.
You
get answers within an hour if the AI can't answer it for you.
So I would start building that home base. So I kind of think of my website as my home base on the internet. So all the things that I do filter to my home base, which is my website. So anytime I have a Pinterest post, is pointing there. Anytime I make a social media post, I'm saying link in bio to book your session, link in bio to access this blog post, whatever it may be. So I'm constantly trying to get people to my home base, because I own that essentially. If Zuckerberg says no more to Instagram and Facebook, I know that like I still have a website, and like people can still find me on the internet. So that's kind of my, like, if you're starting out, get your Google business profile set up accurately to the fullest. Like take the time to do that whole thing, and then get yourself a solid website that that can be your home base, that you can start like using as a platform to put that content out there.
I 100% agree with the whole. That's one of the things I think we've all tried to say is like, Facebook might not be there. So you have to like somehow get it back, get those email addresses.
Those photographers have only on social media and they don't have a website presence. It's like, what's going to happen? You're not in control of that. That could go away tomorrow.
So that's very important. I love that you said that.
Yes. That is awesome.
So what are the easiest changes photographers can make today? If you didn't, I mean, you kind of listed some, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what
H1s.
yeah,
Sorry.
H1s. That is what I was gonna say. But I would say give yourself like set a 15 or 20-minute timer and say, okay, how much of this can I do in 20 minutes? And maybe for that 20 minutes, you go in and write alt text on all of your images that you have on your website, which we didn't even touch on alt text today.
You know
That's
what?
a
We did
whole
not.
thing.
We can if you want.
Yeah, I mean, just to go backwards a little bit, alt text is basically if someone who cannot see is looking at your website, the alt text is what the computer basically reads to that person describing your photo. So let's say you have a photo of a family and they're running through a prairie field together laughing. You would write very obviously young family of 4 running through a field of grass, laughing and holding hands in Iowa City Park in the autumn or whatever, So notice I put my little keyword in there in the alt text too, but it's just very like, what is this photo of? So that somebody who can't see knows what the imagery is like on your website. And we're photographers, so we have a lot of images on our websites.
We do.
And so anytime you upload a new image, definitely make sure you're including alt text. But I have a lot of images on my website that still don't have alt text. Like I'm guilty. And so sometimes I just set a timer and go add alt text. You could set that timer and go change all your H1s and H2s. You could set that timer and have AI rewrite one of your pages or audit one of your pages to be more optimized better for AI searches, So those are some simple things that you can do and build a practice. So SEO and AEO is a practice. It's ongoing all the time. It's forever, changing. So things are updating. And so you're constantly kind of have to stay up on it. But I will say the more that I learn about it and the more that I practice it, the easier it just becomes like second nature. To include these things naturally, include the keywords naturally, or remember to do the things that I'm supposed to do. So yeah, I would say
perfect.
That would be my tip.
Yep, that's a great tip, honestly. And I like that you said do the timer because a lot of times that's what stops me from doing it is I know I'm going to go down a rabbit hole and I don't have time for a rabbit hole.
Yeah, just be like, how many images can I get alt text on in the next half an hour or whatever it might be? Yeah.
I get myself stuck on, I can't do this because I don't have the time to do it when I just need to be okay with, how about we just do this section right now?
Yeah.
And then that's done. And then this section. And then that's done. I need to get more in that mindset of like, it's not all going to be done overnight.
And then also that alleviates a little bit of the like, I have to write a blog post feeling because you're kind of in there putzing around all the time. And then, the bots are seeing that you're constantly updating and adding things and so even if it's just a little bit every day or a couple times a week, you'll get there.
You'll get there. Yep.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep.
All right. So I have some rapid fire questions for you that are going to be tips to give to people.
Okay.
Sound good? Okay. One SEO myth photographers should ignore.
I don't think you should ignore this, but if you're gonna ignore something, you can just ignore renaming your files. You should rename your files in a way that's optimized for searches with keywords and all the things, but it holds less weight than the content on your site. So if you're gonna skip one thing, just don't rename your files.
I'm so glad you said that because I have an issue with that. So that makes me feel better.
Yep, that's another thing you can do in your timer is re-upload images with the correct file names.
Correct. Yep.
And metadata if you really want to get involved.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing every photographer website should have.
Their location.
I know, I knew the answer. Yes, one location. One type of blog post photographers should write this month.
Yeah, I definitely think one of those three I mentioned, pricing structure, framework structure, or something about you that makes you unique in your industry. One of those three. But definitely get those three done like in a month.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
And then last one, biggest missed opportunity photographers have online.
Ooh. That is interesting. I will say the one thing it's making me think about is that the power, we've talked a lot about the power of AI, and I kind of like dove into how I have it help me learn things. But it can help you save so much time in doing some certain things that you can really cast a wider net online. So
Okay.
because AI is saving me time in a lot of areas, not just marketing, but editing and retouching and all that kind of stuff too, workflows, um, I have more time to devote to this kind of stuff. And so I can finally have time to actually be active on LinkedIn or actually be making 10 Pinterest pins for every blog post, which I just wasn't doing because I'd get the blog post done, but then it was like, I'm done,
Right.
so like it actually is helping me gain some of that time back to really
Get
like
more
cast
done.
a wider net and
There you go.
hopefully start reaching more people who are in my target market and who are my target clients. Therefore, preventing another year like 2025.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
AI is at your fingertips, everybody. So
Yeah.
take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Take advantage.
Yeah.
For sure.
You've mentioned Pinterest a couple of times, and somebody mentioned to me recently that they thought Pinterest was going out, but it's making a resurgence.
Young people are using Pinterest a lot. Yeah, like my daughter is 14 and she has a Pinterest account, and I didn't even know until I just was like, "Do you use Pinterest?" And she's like, "Yeah." And so I was like,
that. I like
"Okay."
hearing that because I still use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I use it a lot. I kind of took a little bit of a break, but then I got back into it and I was like, I actually really love this. And so once again, I went on to ChatGPT and I was like, okay, I'm diving into Pinterest. So what do I need to know? Like teach me about how this platform works so that I can make sure I'm creating content that this platform wants and that will perform well on this platform. So it's having that little AI in my back pocket just to teach me how to do things better has helped me have more time to actually do those things. And hopefully get more eyes on Pinterest is there to drive traffic to your website, hopefully, is kind of the goal when we're talking about SEO. So hopefully it can help do that job to drive a lot more traffic to your website. So yeah.
Very cool. All right. So in closing, the photographers who win online are the ones who clearly explain their expertise on their website.
Yes.
So where can listeners find you?
Yeah, so I am very active all over the internet, like I said, but mainly my favorite platform is Instagram. You can find me, I have a couple accounts on there, but my most active, like main account is jamieellis.photog. And you can follow me along there or follow along with me there. I do also do some one-to-one mentoring. I have 1 or 2 spots open right now to take on some mentoring clients, but I do max that out at a certain number. So once I can only handle so much, right? All of my mentoring mentees, I guess you could say.
That sounds right. I like it.
They get it's a very customized experience. So the first, like we do a discovery call and we really dive into like what it is they want to gain from the however many week package they selected, and then I make a custom like game plan for those weeks. So everything it's not like a cookie cutter kind of a thing. It's very customized, and it's very customized to like what they want to achieve and how they want their business to run. I'm not telling them that they need to have a business model that's exactly like mine. We're working together to figure out how they can make a business that is sustainable and enjoyable and isn't causing burnout. And so I kind of lead people through that. But not to get too pluggy, I just want to do a little bit of a plug for Professional Photographers of Iowa. I am the current president for our state professional organization.
Yeah.
And I know that not every state out there has affiliated group anymore that is through PPA, but we're lucky enough in Iowa to have a really strong state organization, and we have a convention coming up. It's right after Shutterfest, so that's actually why I'm not going to Shutterfest. Yeah, it's coming up right after Shutterfest. It's called Focus Forward. So if you are in the Midwest and you want to join me at a really awesome smaller convention that is going to be just as informational and super fun as any of the bigger ones, come join me in Iowa at our state convention. It's coming up in April, so
I was going to say, what are the dates?
I'm really excited about that. Yeah, April 10 through 13. And we have a bunch of amazing speakers covering topics that are AI, SEO, business oriented, long exposure portraits. And then we have Johnny Edward coming as our kind of headlining closer. He's the guy that always has, he's covered in tattoos and always has like a vest with no shirt underneath and a cool hat. So if you got any, you've seen him online probably, but he's amazing. So he'll be there and along with all of our other awesome speakers. So I have to plug that a little bit.
No, I love it. And
also, I will be speaking at Sync in 2027. I will have a custom sign up link for Sync 27 that helps me out a little bit more. And I hope to be speaking at more events too. So I share about that a lot on my Instagram. I try to always post where I'm speaking at and stuff like that. So follow along there.
All right.
Yes. Well, and I can contest. I've seen her speak and talked to her, chatted with her for a few years. She is very knowledgeable and very understanding in her teaching approach.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Also, I have to make fun of you because you mentioned Aldi.
Yes.
And okay, you also said Aldi's.
Yes.
And I get made fun of so much for saying Aldi's.
Right.
Like everybody I know makes fun of me for saying Aldi's. So, like with the S on the end.
Well, we all say Aldi's.
Yeah. You know what? I've never even been called out for it before because I've never realized it.
Crazy. Okay, so
it's Aldi.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to Aldi's.
I was growing up, like my mom, that's what my mom said. Like that's what my mom shopped there.
Let's just chalk it up to it's a Midwest thing.
Maybe.
But she's in the Midwest.
No, that's what I'm saying. All of us. Yeah.
But like anytime I go somewhere, and Aldi's comes up, they're like, "Why do you say Aldi's?" I'm like, I don't know.
So
I guess
I
that's
totally
just
say Aldi's.
We do. We all say Aldi's. Everybody here says Aldi's.
That's so funny. I love it.
Or like, wait, isn't there an S in the logo? No, there's not.
For a second.
Yeah. Okay. So listeners, chime in and let us know. Is it weird that we say Aldi's or not?
Okay, we had 2 fun questions for you, and then we're done.
Okay.
Although those were fun questions
too. Fun. I like those. That was good.
Okay. Here's my fun question to ask you. If Google disappeared tomorrow and you had to get all your photography clients in another way, how would you do it?
Like the internet disappeared?
That's a good question. Yeah, no more internet.
Well, I would definitely just be doing all I could to show up everywhere in person. Like I would be at every chamber council meeting. I would be showing up at all the charity events. I would be showing up at chamber events. I'd be joining all the like associations I could that pertain to what I photograph. And then I would probably be a little bit more conscious about donating money to organizations that I felt passionate about. I do that, but I think it would have a little bit more weight for me, or I would maybe do a little bit more if the internet went away, then I'm saving lots of money. So I can put that somewhere else.
And at the very least from shopping.
You're right.
Yeah. So it would be probably making some charitable donations that were in a strategic manner. But I would just be in-person networking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The way it was back in 2006.
Direct mail. You'd have to mail.
I mean, word of mouth. Yeah. Creating a referral program. I have a referral program, but like really trying to strengthen that word of mouth. I pride myself on having a very good client experience. My customers are not only having good customer service, but when they are with me, they feel empowered to really show up as their true selves. And so really leaning into that and making sure that what I'm providing, the experience that they get with me, is something that they're going to be talking about for a long time, to really amp up that word of mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's good. That was a good answer.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like it.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So I have one for you. So what hobby or interest do you have outside of photography that people might be surprised by?
Oh my gosh. How do I pick just one?
You can tell us as many as you want.
A few if you want.
Well, okay. Hobbies. I'm going to go fast. Golf, gardening, house plants, painting, drawing, fashion, interior design, all those things. Anything visual, arty farty is my hobby. I spend a lot of time in nature. That's kind of a reset for me. I also really love working out. So I do try to be active at the gym and lifting heavy and listening to really loud music while I'm doing it. So I think that would be the most unexpected one, is my taste in music. My favorite kind of music is like really heavy metal, rock, death metal.
Death metal. Okay. Screaming.
Yeah. It's like heavy. Yeah.
You and my husband will get along really well.
Yeah. So you should have him hit me up if you want some new music recs, because we've found some new kind of bands that we're into. But yeah, I really like going to like rock concerts and really heavy concerts, loud.
Do you get in the mosh pit and get tossed around?
I mean, not anymore because I'm 40. But I used to, but not anymore. I also was babysat by Amish people for pretty much my whole childhood.
Well,
so that's another like fun fact about me too.
That is a pretty cool fun fact.
I like that.
Instead of daycare, we went to an Amish farm.
That's so cool. That is so cool.
No,
it was cool. Yeah.
This would have been in like 90s probably, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That's cool.
Do you want to age her and ask her?
No.
I was born in 84.
I'm older than you, so you're fine.
I'm the oldest.
But I'm thinking like that's really cool because I got you away from all the
stuff.
You didn't have a TV. You didn't have the after school TV kind of thing.
No, and I grew up in the country on top of that. So like I didn't have, even when I was old enough to like have friends to go hang out with, like we were out in the country, like in this little tiny area. So like we were constantly finding things to do outside that were not with other people, like roaming the woods and making tree forts and catching frogs and all the things. So,
I love that.
Well, thank you, Jamie, for spending so much time with us.
Thank you so much.
We had so much fun talking to you. Yes. All right, friends, that is a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, keep creating, keep growing, and keep shooting. Ready for a cheers?
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Wind Down and Focus. We hope you had as much fun as we did. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode full of photography tips, stories, and of course, some laughs.
Thanks for hanging out with us, and remember, whether you're behind the lens or in front of it, keep having fun and capturing those unforgettable moments.
Catch you next time as we sip, chat, and focus on what makes photography awesome.
Before we go, can you do us a small favor? Go online right now and share this episode with one friend who you think will love it. And while you're at it, we'd love for you to leave us a review. It really helps us reach more photographers like you. Also, don't forget to check out the show notes. We've got a free guide waiting for you when you subscribe. It's called 5 Ways to Get More Photography Clients, and it's packed with actionable tips to help you grow your business. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time on Wind Down and Focus.